name's Andrew. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to build one of these nuggets of absolute glory. So basically what we have is a tap tempo switch that will allow you to tap your tempo. Sick one. It'll work for delay pedals that work with normally open and normally closed type foot switches. I'm also led to believe that it will work with things like the Boss Looper products, Line 6 stuff. It'll work for pretty much anything that just uses a normal momentary style switch. So a bit of a backstory. About 10 years ago, I built one of these things on my parents' kitchen bench. I didn't have drills. I had basically nothing. I used the wrong type of switch, so instead of your tempo being tapped in when I hit down, it'll only do it when I released, and I had no idea what I was doing back then. I basically stabbed some holes into a tuna can and threw a switch in it. It's been on my board for a decade. It hasn't crapped out. Every time I've rocked up to a show and people have seen it, they've always said I should sell them or make them or whatever, and I've never really paid too much attention. Made 5. They sold really quick. There's not much to them. I basically built them because I didn't want to spend $100 in Australia on a foot switch for a tap tempo when parts are relatively cheap, and if you've got a soldering iron, happy days. I'll grab the old one now and I'll show you the condition that it's in after 10 years. Like, this thing's got a little perspex, there we go, it's got a perspex bottom on it so you can see the guts. My original one had nothing on it, so it's been open for a decade, still works. I've only just recently replaced it with a newer one with the polarity switch on it, so it'll actually work now when you push the button down instead of when you come up. So this is the OG, same sort of setup, but I don't know if you can see the crack in the can is when I stabbed it with a knife to try and get the switch through it. It's got a dirty, great big washer on it because the hole was too big and the switch kept on falling through when I stood on it. Mono jack, SPST switch in it. Thing's been open. You can see the state of the can where it was all peeled back, but it's been going strong for better part of a decade. And most of the time I was using it, I was in like worship teams, that sort of thing. So you know how much delay they use in churches. So that thing got stomped on constantly, and it's still sick. So happy days. Righto, so now we're going to start with our can. Get a step drill bit, measure out your component sizes and drill appropriately. Make sure you've got enough space inside your can to put all the bits, otherwise you won't have clearance, and that is bad news. I've glued in a couple wooden dowels, that way I can drill in a backing plate later on. So what we've got here is an SPDT momentary foot switch, a mono jack, and an SPDT mini toggle switch. So basically wiring is as follows. I'm not going to throw up schematics because it is really easy. Each of the outside lugs of both switches will attach to each other. So the outside of the foot switch will attach to the outside of the toggle. The other side of the foot switch will attach to the other side of the toggle. From there, we take the middle lug of the foot switch, and that goes to the earth side of the jack. And then the middle lug of the toggle will go to the hot side of the jack. It's super simple. There's no point doing schematics for it because, if a moron like me can do it, then anyone can. So I'm going to do a bit of a speed up. No one needs to see my fat fingers trying to work. Basically, this is just assembling the pedal. Be careful if you're doing tin cans and that sort of stuff. Be careful. The edges are sharp. I've cut myself a few times trying to rush through things. Just be careful. Also, clean your tins. If you're making them for a friend or trying to sell them and that, you don't want to be shipping out tin cans that smell like fish. Bad news. Righto, so what we're doing here is marking out the holes in the dowel to be able to drill a pilot hole. Just use like a little drill bit or an awl or something just to mark a little hole in it to make it easier when you try and line up your drill. Obviously, I don't have a drill press because I'm doing it like a fucking cowboy. So here we go. Look at my hole. Awesome. Yeah. Have some music. This is how this Footswitch works. So obviously you've seen a little light go from green to red to indicate that the tap tempo is working. It's plugged in. At the moment it's in the mode where it will work with every other brand other than Boss. You can see as it the Footswitch goes up, the light changes. Now it's in the Boss mode where if you press down, the light will turn red, indicating that on the downstroke of the switch, the switch operates. Here are the little clear acrylic discs that I had made up by my local joint to stick on the bottom. Another speed up of how we're going to drill some holes. I also drill a countersink in it as well, just so when you screw in the base plate screws, the countersunk nicely. When you Velcro it, they're not going to have like just dirty, ugly looking screws hanging out. Now, if you do it the way that I'm going, and you use the acrylic thing, just be careful when you countersink your holes, because it is easy to crack the acrylic. And here it is, all done and dusted. If you like it or it's helpful, leave a comment, thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more guitar douchebaggery, and I'll see you soon.